No, I'm just kidding. No.
So I've got a question. We're coming on March 15th to First Avenue.
Yes.
From Omaha, Nebraska.
You'll be
go
driving right
through
past
us.
Yeah, on 169.
So we should come through. That's a Thursday, so we should sort of try to stop at the station on the way.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Well, we'll be like really bleary-eyed, probably.
That's no different than us.
Okay. Well, that's fine. That'd be terrific. So let's try to get that happening.
Yay!
That would be incredible.
Let's
putting
please.
In Mankato.
That's right.
Green on my calendar. Fantastic, you guys. So, I will probably see you in a couple months.
Oh! Yay!
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you guys so much for getting up, because this has got to be early.
Yeah, this is early for us. I mean,
I don't even know what
we
this
live
is
like vampires.
for us. I normally actually yesterday I went to sleep at about 10 a.m. and then just
slept through the day.
Yeah, slept through the day and then woke up and did the show. So there is no time is meaningless at this point. Yeah.
When you're on the tour, is it just kind of like whenever you just go where you got to go?
You know, I'm impressed. Marty Beller, They Might Be Giants drummer, actually gets up and goes to some culty exercise parlor called like Orange.
Yeah. He
Theory.
does the gym change.
He actually goes to the gym every day wherever we are, and he'll seek it out, and he's very organized about it.
Drummer's got to be.
He's very physical.
Well, also he's a youngster. He's 50. So for us, he's he's like the inspiration, the reminder of our youth.
Yeah, he's a role model for everybody. But the truth is like I think for me and John, we pound back so much coffee. It's hard to decompress right after the shows. It's pretty
true.
It's like I'm not. Last night I was so exhausted. I actually did get to bed early, but like we're often up till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
I've really been enjoying the live vibe reports.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I love it when you look so sleepy and you're whispering because everybody else is sleeping.
Well,
that's
try to be considerate.
Adorable.
Yeah, well, I do like the leading them right away.
I've been trying to sing the vibe report songs to Tim, but the only line I can remember always is the what
if there isn't a vibe? Yeah, that's the only constant line. The rest is just made up.
But thank you guys for coming on, and you're heading up to the Twin Cities, which is a sold-out show.
Yep. We're playing at First Avenue, the worst electricity in rock music.
Is it?
Yeah, it's weird. I think I was talking to our Dan, our other guitar player, about it. I think it was the first place we actually had to buy like noise gates on the guitars, and it made me think about Purple Rain, because Purple Rain was recorded live there, and there's just there's tons of distortion on that record, and I wonder if it was just like there was howling ground noise. It's that they were like dodging, because I've never you run across like a lot of bad electricity. It's hard if you buy like a railroad station or someplace it's like or a power plant or someplace that's kicking off some weird electrical fields.
Wow.
But it's like that. I mean, it's just like it is like the problem of guitars is they're noisy.
Well, I've seen you at First Avenue, I think 4 times.
Oh, really?
And your voice sounded awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a great venue. It's a really a
for
fantastic.
us, you sound just
yeah.
great.
No, it's more of it's. I mean, a lot of it's just like there's a lot of guitar hum when you're on stage, and it's probably not as obvious off stage, but it can. I think that
we remedy it. It's
I think
not like
First Avenue might be the worst in America, but we've had worse there's a club called Cookies in Frankfurt that I think had the worst electricity we've ever experienced.
Well, it's like when the noise is equal to the sound coming.
Basically,
there's no hiding. Yeah. You're kind of going strum. It's like
I feel like in the German in the German club there was like a power plant like exactly adjacent to to the club or something.
Well, there's
like
also
that.
there was a place in Jersey that we played a bunch of times. Remember the Red Parrot?
Oh yeah, that was pretty bad.
It had a metal stage, which seemed somehow
you're asking for it.
You were standing on like a piece of like aluminum or something.
True.
There's nowhere to be grounded.
Yeah, it was a weird idea
or you're
for
just
a stage.
Completely grounded.
as a sort of piece of like material, it's very odd standing on a metal stage. You feel it doesn't seem right.
Well, I wonder if you guys happen to notice the big maps over here.
I'm staring
That's
at it
from
right
this
now.
last
Yeah,
year's
The
They Might Be Giants.
beautiful Cooper
I love the
typeface.
worldwide. We've got to get more stuff going in Asia and Africa. It appears.
Yeah.
There's a big gap in our map here, and also I noticed Brazil. But what about these? I see Argentina, but we're missing a lot of these Spanish-speaking areas. For some reason, Brazil is on the map. And
All
not
7 continents this last year with requests, and of course all
beautiful.
50 states. And if you guys have connections with the International Space Station, that's what we're going for this year.
Oh, really?
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have any connections with
Well, our
these.
station manager knows a guy who knows a guy in NASA, and they said it's got to be like a real special thing. And I think this is a real special thing. So, it's our
I
goal.
don't know how we would frame it. To make it seem more special. I'm trying to think of what we can cook up.
Right.
This morning, Tim came up with the Tesla guy. Maybe we could get him to put something in space.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
go that direction.
Well, he already put his car in space, so he's
Playing
got
David
he's got
Bowie.
big ideas.
Yeah. I feel like if we had that much juice in general, our scene would be very different from the way. If we were already somehow pals with Elon Musk, it would be a different world for us.
Yeah.
You'd be jetting to every show instead of on a bus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
Something to look forward to. Elon, if you're out there, call us.
Yes, 507-389-5678. First come, first serve, Elon. First people to get They Might Be Giants played in space. We opened up the world to some questions, and I know you guys don't have a lot of time, but
We got nothing but time.
We can.
What are the hard-hitting questions?
one question that's that we got from John on the
John
miscellaneous
L.
T.
Right. Asking for a friend.
Yes. And it actually has to do with because I have 2 video questions I want to ask you. Or what? Let's start with the first one. The video that won "I Left My Body" is fantastic.
Oh yeah. I just saw it for the first time yesterday.
Yep, and they just released it for the Dial-A-Song song, but fantastic. I can't remember the person that made it. Great video. That was
So
you
did a good job.
And then somebody wanted to know if you could share the
That's
story
not a question.
behind. No, that was just me kind of.
Oh, okay, right.
You guys are awesome.
Teeing it up.
You guys are awesome.
The story
I got a question.
behind-
You guys are awesome.
The Last Wave video with the Run DMC Aerosmith.
Yes.
That you guys have been playing. They want to know what the story is behind that because they haven't read anything about it.
Yeah, we don't know who made that. It's a mystery.
Really?
I'm lying actually, but
because it kind of sounds
we're
like you guys.
we're waiting to hear from the legal team that is going to change our lives forever when they come after us.
When Elon Musk sues
When
us.
Elon Musk comes back from space. Yeah, I don't know. No, it was a. I mean, in fairness, it was like a way to write a song. The idea wasn't to start stealing material from other artists. Although that
Again.
that was fun as well. I forget what the question was. Why did we do that?
That you've been showing.
Explain
'cause
it.
They said they didn't know the story behind it. Because if you watch it, it just
Yeah.
sets up so well.
So there's this video for this song, "Walk This Way," which is a remake of the Aerosmith hit with which Run DMC did their own version of, and then
if you're
Aerosmith.
an MTV baby, they played it.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And Aerosmith
Famous.
got involved, and there's actually a really entertaining video of DMC talking about. And you can look for this on YouTube. He talks about how they made that video, and that guy is hilarious.
Yeah. Smart guy.
Yeah. Anyway, so the song "Last Wave" was actually just written by turning off the sound to the video and watching the lips of the people and making up different words. And then,
so
it was
it
a way
was
to
a
write.
little bit of
I was thinking,
the-
this is a
the
great way to write
misunderst-
songs. Like we could write more songs by doing other stuff like this.
Well, so as fans, can we recommend videos you should watch with the sound down?
I was watching. There's a Marilyn Monroe movie that I was thinking would be a great It's there's so much ridiculous singing in it, and I was thinking that would be a great way. And then the other idea, I think it was Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. It's like it is the most idiotic film.
Well, the
ever
nice
made.
thing about the Last Wave thing is the back and forth.
Yeah,
works.
yeah,
It's actually
exactly.
It's very the call and response part of it is very asymmetrical. So
Yeah.
it actually creates sort of a more interesting dynamic.
Yes.
In the thing.
But so that would be so the Gentleman from Purple Blondes has a lot. Any film.
Oh, right, they're like talking
any
to
film
her.
musical is like they're singing back and forth, and then
Right.
then the crowd sings, and then she sings, and then
Right.
somebody else sings.
Oh,
The other idea I had was we could take one of our videos and just write a new song, and,
Ooh,
and
that'd
I think
be
that
weird.
would be
That
good.
would
Actually,
be
I've been working on that idea, but I haven't gotten there yet.
Do you know which video?
That's the point. I don't know yet, but I think it'll be
I do.
it'll be a surprise. Yeah.
Because that'd be an awesome video to.
Yeah.
That.
Plus, that means
beats.
we've got a video we can actually use.
That's true.
Right.
We can
And
put
you don't
it-
have to
we
ask
won't get
anybody if
sued.
you
We
can
won't
use it.
Yeah. We might get sued by Elektra, actually,
Yeah.
depending on the video.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, speaking of which, I love the brand new album. When we talked with you
Thanks.
guys last November, it was you guys were just wrapping it up. And,
Oh, right.
And you talked about all the death and
Yeah.
everything that was on it. But it's a great album.
Thank you.
We played it when I first got it. We played it the whole thing on our nighttime show, and then I've just been listening to it kind of nonstop.
Thanks so
And
much,
and I
Shelley.
keep getting obsessed with different songs, but man, I got to tell you, the greatest and going into the Last Wave is just amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then, the first three songs are like some of the strongest first three songs on a They Might Be Giants album. It's just fantastic. So.
Yeah, I feel like we spent a lot of time making the record, and we did a lot of things. We created a lot of songs that didn't make the cut on the record to make it a super strong album, which is sort of a foolproof way of doing better work. It's just doing more work. But I feel like when we were doing the Dial Song project in 2015, we put out the Glean album, then Y and Phone Power, and it was just sort of like everything we did, we put out, and it was very freewheeling. And the thing is, maybe this is just the nature of having something that's well received, but now I feel like we should be more careful. We can't.
No, I think it's the opposite. We can coast now. We can just put out total crap.
Just laugh it
Because
up.
people are just.
I would encourage you
loving
to
it.
do that
I don't
because
know.
it's
They're
probably
loving
going to be
us.
awesome.
I don't know. It's like I wonder.
We could shoot a guy on Fifth Avenue. People would buy a recording of that. No, sorry.
I don't like the way
I
you're
don't mean
thinking,
to
John.
I don't mean to get. I'm not trying to get
You're
topical here.
scaring me.
Yeah.
Well, a question we had from Eric, who lives in Mankato, and he's associated with the Children's Museum here in town.
Uh-huh.
Wanted to know if you guys would ever do, because the last couple tours have been kids only, no kids allowed, 21 and up. Real adamant
it's been
about that.
most of the time it's 14 and up. Maybe it's First
okay.
Avenue is 21 and up.
Okay.
But it's sort of the 14 up is weird because it doesn't really help. We should probably make it 16 so people at least have an ID to prove. I think our current policy is you must be this tall basically to get on this ride.
But he's also a big fan of your children's albums, and he wanted to know if you would ever consider doing a U.S. tour of children's museums, doing kid shows with the kids'
it would be
albums.
the thing that's tricky about kid stuff, and our office has said this on multiple occasions. Organizing one kids show is about the same amount of work as doing a month of rock shows.
Oh,
it's
Why is that?
because people book in rock clubs tours all the time. There's a established circuit. There's a way, everybody. There's established relationships, and there's very standard contracts. Our booking agent has been working with all these. We've been booked at First Avenue for 25 years. And it's just sort of a fit to fill thing. It's here comes another band. Here comes another band. And the thing about kids stuff is that they're all really specialty things. I remember once we were asked to go do I did a site. What do you call it? Where you go to the a site
Walkthrough.
a walkthrough of this place that was very eager to have us do a kids show there. It's a kind of prestigious place in Brooklyn, and the thing that's crazy is an arts-funded place, and nothing about it was architecturally safe for kids. It was basically a black box theater with seats with no that just went about 14 feet high with no guardrails,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, let's get some 5-year-olds on that thing.
No.
It's not, concrete floors, just everything about it was like catastrophes. We can't think. I mean, the truth is, it's like, it's a liability thing, but it's also just like a human thing to just, if you care about kids, you really don't want to put them in harm's way. Obviously, the science, a science place would be probably pretty ideal. I don't know, but it's
still a lot more work.
Hard to organize. So, we have to
Plus we
string
hate
together.
kids.
Yeah.
Well, I know that.
But when we do regular tours, we're doing 6 shows in a row. Like, I don't know how many. All kids shows always happen on weekends. Like booking weekends is not a,
so you can't
a
do
problem
a
for us.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. It was we've never been able to figure out a good. I mean, I realize I'm just like mumbling now, but
no.
but we've
do know
never
that
been
you
able to
guys-
crack the code of how to do it.
Shows that, because I know in the Twin Cities you did something downtown that was free. That was
Yeah, we
bringing
had
kids
we
and-
definitely had a stretch in the O's when we were promoting a lot of kids material.
Yeah.
And now that we don't have any kids record out, it is I suppose it's like very we are pragmatic guys. We sound like we are totally just goofing around all the time, but there's also we would like to tour Japan more, but it's so expensive. I mean, there's so many things that like are fun to do that we don't.
Right.
That we don't do as much as we used to.
The first request we had this morning was from Japan.
Yeah. Well, we've been trying to figure out again. Like that's another. It's just about sort of cracking the code. Sometimes, like we're actually going to be doing a legit tour of Canada this year. It's like the first time we've ever
We've had
done.
like 8 Canadian requests this morning.
Yeah. Well, and we put in like it. When I posted the thing on Twitter, I was like, we're playing 8 Canadian cities. Our first Canadian tour, and the first response from somebody was like a Canadian saying, I didn't know we had 8 cities, and I just thought like, oh man,
Right,
we're in trouble.
Right.
But it'll like ultimately, I don't think it'll like change our scene in Canada that profoundly, but at least it sort of makes our intentions clear. And I guess the thing like with the kids stuff is like we like doing kids shows, but it's just it's
practicality.
And it's the practicality, and it's also like sort of like mixed signals. Like we have people showing up with like really little kids to like really skanky bars that we're playing in at like 11 o'clock at night, and you're just like, why are you bringing your children here? Please.
Yeah. No, I think it's super fun, and it is like we're very cognizant of like what a great opportunity it was to do music for kids, because in some ways they are this ideal audience. They're like much more open-minded, much less thinking like rock critics,
And they
with their
wanna
arms
hear
full.
it over and over.
Yeah, so
and
it's really
memorize it
fun.
and-
Actually, I saw a great video of the Sex Pistols playing a show for at some like birthday party, and John Lydon said that was the favorite gig of his whole life, was playing for these little
Wow.
kids. Yeah,
What?
yeah.
That's so
he
weird.
said they were, first of all, they weren't like spitting on the band because they felt like that was what they were actually just throwing birthday cake at the band because they were having so much fun. And he was like, it was totally spontaneous, like they were just enjoying themselves.
I've got to get online more.
Well, one of our favorite questions that we like asking you guys over the years, because you've been so kind to call in and do interviews with us on the They Might Be Playing, They Might Be Giants Day, is what books are you reading right now? Because you always are reading fantastic books.
I just ordered a book which has a title that kind of hurts my head, which is it's called The Secret Life of Colors. And I feel like it should be called The Secret Lives of Colors or The Secret Life of Color, but it's called The Secret Life of
So
Colors.
you're not getting past the title. That's
right.
that's
I'm already
problematic.
the title was problematic for me, but I read an excerpt of one of the things, and I heard an excerpt read of one of the entries, and I heard about this book as an English author, and it sounds like a pretty interesting little, it's sort of like a coffee table book, I guess.
Sure. How about you, John?
I'm most of the way through this book called the main title is Germs, and then there's a colon, and it's a subtitle Genes, and it's by Siddhartha Mukherjee, I think is the guy's name.
Okay.
And it's an amazing book that's not overly technical about genetics. So that's my current bus reading, and I'm mostly done with that. What else? This is crazy. We played in Orlando a month ago, and we were in the city of Orlando. It was Virginia Woolf's birthday, and I was like, didn't Virginia Woolf write a book called Orlando? And so I just found it and read it again. I read it when I was a youngster, and it's one of the craziest, coolest books ever written. I strongly recommend it for people who just want to know how insane literature can be. If they find it generally boring to read books that are 100 years old, it's a super crazy story about a 16th century guy who has this total crazy what do you call it? It's like an adventure, like a picaresque kind of adventure.
Okay.
But then he for some reason turns into a woman. That was just Virginia was like, I'm going to make the character a woman now.
So Freaky Friday.
And he lives to be
Friday.
500 years old and becomes a woman in the midst of that. And there's just a lot of other utterly crazy things. And also there's a photograph of the protagonist in the book.
Really?
It's like, that's odd.
And how was the photograph created?
It was taken of a person.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Virginia Woolf, check her out. Very progressive. It's a crazy book. It's really good.
I will check that out. I love it because when you do talk about books, I'm part of that chat group on Facebook, the Miscellaneous Tea. People start sharing.
Yeah, let's have a book club.
It's a lot like that. Which encourage anybody that reads. It's a good thing.
Well, if you're on a bus for half your life, it is a really good idea to have something else to do besides. Our favorite activity is shouting at each other about the pronunciation of the capital of Nigeria, for example, which is what we're doing literally this morning when we got up. I don't know if people should call in and tell us.
It was a Lagos or Legos.
Legos, yeah, Legos. Is it pronounced Legos?
We had a request
like the plastic toy
earlier from what town was that in New York? Hauppauge?
Hauppauge.
Yeah, I know.
I said
I
it's
can't
really poor
help you there.
And 5 people were like, Hauppauge.
Well, the other thing, New York State has filled, and there may be some of those here, but they decided to name a lot of cities in New York after European historic cities, but changed the pronunciation radically, so you would never even know.
No.
So
or like Indian names that are wildly like
Mankato is an Indian name.
Yeah, but at least Mankato kind of sounds like plausible.
Well, who knows? Yeah, we don't actually know. In some ways, it almost doesn't matter because we're just going to massacre the name the way we did with the people.
Did you guys grow up watching Little House on the Prairie?
My wife watched Little House on the Prairie. Linwood Boomer.
This is the big town.
Oh, you're kidding. Linwood Boomer, the creator of Malcolm in the Middle, who hired us for the song, played the on the television show, played the blind boy or the deaf
Albert.
boy.
Albert.
Yes.
And what was weird is that when
turns out he's not blind in real life.
Yeah, I was but he was like the romantic interest in the show, right?
Because I think Mary went blind and then they met at
obviously you watched this.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is that the phone call came in and it was like there's some guy who's pitching a show at Fox and he doesn't have any money, but he wants you guys to write it like a theme, like on spec. And his name is Linwood Boomer, and so the sort of like that constellation of things to me just made me think this is a bad bologna sandwich.
Right, exactly.
This is not
you've got all the information you need.
This is not an opportunity.
Do not answer this call.
This is not an opportunity. And I guess there was like a callback and my wife Robin took the message and she was like, Linwood Boomer, it has to be the same guy that played the guy on Little House on the Prairie, and that totally piqued her interest. Like she was a Little House on the Prairie person and really knew everything about it. She's like, that's really strange. And then, one IMDb search later, we realized like this guy was actually like a totally legit lifer, guy.
Right.
But the name
could still be a
Linwood
weirdo.
Boomer doesn't even seem like a real name.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I changed my
I'm
name
going
when I
to
joined the
Hollywood,
circus.
and
Yeah. I don't
this
know.
is my Hollywood name.
Oh no, I'm of the Nordic Boomers.
So do you know the scuttlebutt behind the? Is it Laura Ingalls Wilder? Right, wrote the book, and there's the story is maybe that her daughter actually wrote the book. That's the.
I have heard that. Yeah.
But what difference would why would the daughter write it and then have it attributed to her? What's the good part of that?
Just because the mom is the one who had the life on the prairie, right? So
Yeah.
so the
make
the
it
daughter
a
was
little
the daughter
more
was
it's more
legit.
autobiographical.
But the daughter's
Yeah.
story is really interesting because she's one of these like founding mothers of arch conservatism. I don't know if you know this
I don't know
story.
anything.
Yeah, the daughter is like this super right wing, like people. Ayn Rand people are.
Yeah.
She's like the other one, basically.
Well, let's open it up to callers.
Yeah. So just a little more information. I mean, I'm telling you everything I know.
Well, I guess what was the other? There's lots of like I'm trying to think of what the book writing family was. There's like a million, not Agatha Christie, because Agatha Christie is like her own interesting biography, but there was some other like mystery writer who it turns out like the son and daughter also
murdered the dad.
Not just wrote books, but they like basically like the household like pitched ideas for mystery books. Like
Really?
everyone kind of got the. But I'm trying to think of which
V.C.
one it
Anders?
was.
No.
No. But
We'll take calls on that.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, I know you guys can't stay forever, and so I don't want to hog up your time.
We're staying. You.
I don't
you,
mind if
I'm
you
just
stay
getting
forever.
comfortable. Just getting comfortable.
Yeah, we're just
That would
getting
be
started
amazing.
here.
Well, what are the other
Laura
questions?
Ingalls Wilder, man.
Right.
Let's talk.
Laura Ingram, call us up.
Let's see. We did. Oh, Amber wanted to know. She's a big fan of the Escape Team. She says her kids have been reading the comic book like nonstop. They've read it like 14
neat.
times.
I haven't even read the comic.
And I got it right here.
Hey, let's check it out. Let me
Show
see.
it to Linnell.
In my,
I only got
IRC
PDFs.
bag.
Yeah.
She wanted to know if and I think we might have asked you this before, but did you collaborate with him?
Well, basically,
Come up with that, or did he have it? And
we
you-
work with David Coles on a million different things. He's done many videos for us
By
in
the
the
way,
past.
"Chip the Chip" is Tim's favorite song. We've
Cool.
been
Yeah.
playing it
Excellent. Yeah.
a lot, which is fantastic.
I wasn't aware there's a Chips movie, and so it was sort of unfortunate that people thought that it was somehow. Isn't there recently?
tie into the Chips movie?
It's
Yeah.
not
well,
a tie.
Chips
There's
is
no
a TV show.
No,
wasn't it?
I'm aware of that. I'm just saying it's currently there's some. Or recently,
There was a couple years,
a couple years ago. Yeah,
Oh, but it's not. It's not going to be as.
that's
It's not
not
going to be as
that's
good
not-
as the TV show.
Oh,
not in
no.
our
No Eric
wheelhouse.
Estrada
Yeah,
in
exactly.
there.
But basically, there was David and I cooked up a list. The whole thing with the Escape Team was that we were just looking for like almost like prompts to write songs. Like all the songs are sort of character songs, and so we just the thing was we put together a list of names that were. Oh, well, I got to back up even farther. There's this guy, Big Daddy Roth, who in the 60s, who was a cartoonist. He was a hot rod. He made hot rods, but he also drew Ratfink, which people might know. And it was a
great
very...
stickers and patches.
Yeah,
it's
he drew like monsters driving cars
which
with
are
800
great.
eyeballs. And
Yeah.
their tongue wagging behind
and
them.
and the tradition of the Ratfink thing is to have these names, these sort of punny names for all the illustrations. So we were really just kind of riffing off of that.
Sure.
And came up with all these names, like 24 names or more, and then just whittled them down to the ones that were funny and also not like evil or too strange or didn't make sense, or just were like too far afield. But we still have to write some more songs. I mean, like I've got like three songs cooking that I got to finish up. We're only like really halfway through the Escape Team
So
portraits.
those be future Dial songs?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's like the
we have
second half
so
of the
much
year.
work to do when we get home. It's ridiculous because we haven't finished our year's worth of Dial songs.
I love the Nick Offerman video.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that came out
yeah.
really good. Alex, we just actually did something in LA with Alex Italics. We finally met him. He's done a couple of videos for us. There's so many things in in life these days that are like these long distance collaborations that are just kind of they're very intense, but they're also very distant at the same time. Like having done multiple things with Alex Italics, but having never met him at all is very strange. Like I realized like he's really young. Like that was like, it was a real eye opener. I think of him as like an adult. It was like, wait, you're really like 20 something.
Right. He's a woman.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
500 years old now.
Yes.
Another question about the JoJo cruise. Is
Oh,
just gonna be-
Joko, yes.
Joko, Jonathan Colton.
Is that just going to be you guys, or is
No,
that
no,
gonna
no,
be
it's
all-
a-
We're
it's
actually
big
not.
event.
Yeah, it's a whole cruise with other artists, and we're just showing up in San Juan. I don't know. Are you going on the cruise, Flans?
I don't know. I've done it before. It depends on what's happening. I'm not sure.
I think my wife is not interested in being on a boat for that long. So
Right.
I'm
For
not.
some- for
frankly, I'm not either. But
For some people,
But,
cruises are like prison.
Get the
prison
full
sentences.
drink ticket.
Oh no. I think that I think
That's
that's
the
just
key
part
to
of
I
it.
like I like it. That's.
I think
yes,
that
thank
just
you.
comes
Thanks for that.
for everybody.
Do not get the full drink
Because you
ticket.
can buy different levels. You can buy the one
Oh,
where you
right.
just get soda. You can get the one with soda and some alcohol, or you can get all the alcohol. And
No, I
soda
think
you
the
want.
I think the
the
Joko
one you
cruise
want.
is a
Wow.
raft of it's just continuous flowing
And
booze.
this cruise would probably be better, but like the cruise I went on, go to all of the talent show stuff because there was honestly like plate spinning.
What cruise did you do?
A celebration, a big one.
Like you did like a family
Yeah.
cruise. You didn't
Right.
do.
But there was
'cause-
actually
right.
plate spinning, and
Oh, yeah,
there was
yeah.
like dancing off of weird stuff, and
Well, the Colton cruise
it was
is
like classic vaudeville.
yeah.
Right.
It would be nice if there was some of that
There was
like
a ventriloquist.
tossed in. The Joko cruises. I've been on a couple of them.
Okay.
And it's basically like a lot of the activities around gaming. So it's like if you're a gamer, it's a
Okay.
very it's like it's your people. But it's but like last time I was there, Amy Mann performed, and she was in a lot of different things, and John Roderick from the Long Winters is part of it, and
There's a lot of comedians.
and
right?
there's some really interesting, different kinds of comedians. Jean Grey, who's like a rapper as well as she has like a talk show thing that she does. She's very funny. Was part of it. So it's like it's a very interesting, diverse set of talent doing the entertainment on the cruise.
So it's like an anti-cruise. which
Yeah,
sounds
it's like well, if you
perfect.
know Jonathan Colton stuff, I mean, it's like
Yeah.
he's the the titular head of the thing. He's the king of the cruise. It's his cruise. It's his boat. It's the whole boat is just Joko people. So
Wow.
So it's the lunatics have taken over the asylum.
Max wanted to know if you're planning on this we cover this, but going to Australia anytime soon.
We don't have
We
a
don't-
tour book,
yeah.
but we have an open invitation. That actually is an economically viable thing. We're not doing that this year, but we've had part of it is we've had the support of the national radio station Triple J in the past, which completely changes the whole calculus because it means the way the shows get promoted is we did a tour including festivals that was like a month long.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, part of the thing about what's happening, unfortunately, is that the time that we're freed up is, I guess, the summertime for them. And if you're not on a festival, it's not really viable because the summertime is definitely festival time.
Yeah, but we will go back to Australia.
Okay.
In it probably, I guess, 2019.
Right.
Do you
Car-
like being a part of a festival, or would you rather it just be?
Mostly
your
we haven't
show?
done that, but the Australian one was pretty fun actually. I mean, we it's got it like doing kids shows. It's got its own challenges. It's in some ways more gratifying to just have your own audience there. But we've done the Primavera Festival in Spain. That was super fun.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, in some ways, it's like, people kind of lie about this a lot, but like it is a slightly competitive thing. Like you actually really do want to like win over the crowd
and beat the other bands.
Yeah, you want to win.
Battle of the Bands.
Exactly.
and it's like I don't think like we feel like particularly competitive, but it's just like
It's because when you're on top, You don't have to worry about the competition.
Exactly, Shelley. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't want to
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
But it's implied.
Yes.
We've seen some. I mean, it's weird when you win by default.
No, I think. I mean, in fairness, I think it's like the opposite way. We've traditionally been such a UFO that when we do a festival, we're not competing with any other band because we're just like the oddballs who probably don't even belong there. So that's fine. That's actually a good
but
place to
I
be.
feel like we have a chance to kind of persuade people if we set up the show the right way.
Yeah.
It's actually like it gives us access to an audience that we never get otherwise, and it has been satisfying. Like I feel like when we did like Point Fest,
Yes, that's
we were
true.
we were basically like opening for like Midnight Oil, which is like having
it helped.
their
It helped that like the radio
mainstream-
station was really promoting us, so we
Yeah.
we felt like we were not imposters.
It
we
was teed
actually
up
there actually
nicely.
were people there to see us. That makes a big difference, But we've done all these British festivals like Reading and Glastonbury, and
Oh,
they can
boy.
be miserable because it's the weather is just
we
it
did a crummy job.
it
of that.
constantly rains over there, so that you just have to be prepared for that. And we recently did that one in East Anglia.
But that was
the rain fest. I think
Yeah.
it's called. the mud pile.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was really spirited. I thought that
Yeah,
was it's sometimes when it's ridiculous it's the sort of like this weird community of
You just
people.
get into the groove of that.
We did a show. It was when the guy from the New York Michael Azrad was following us around for the New Yorker and like just right before the like 1999 or something, like a festival in Nashville where it rained continuously on us
Right.
and the audience, and it was just like standing rain.
Right.
Like you were in it for a minute and you were just completely
and then
drenched.
there was no concern about getting more wet.
Right,
'cause
it was just-
you couldn't.
But nobody left, and it was like there was a really big turnout, and it just seemed like, well, they're all messed up, we're completely messed up, and it was the nicest thing is that everything we'd gone to wireless microphones, which sort of provides a certain amount of security from being actually electrocuted,
Yeah.
which is the only other thing that crosses your mind when you're doing like a show in the rain. But I feel like there's this sort of like if you're staying we're playing thing that happens.
Right.
That's kind of nice when it's that chaotic.
I can't imagine anybody that doesn't know you guys going to your show and not leaving like a big fan because you put on such great live shows.
I don't know.
Never
I
gone
wonder.
to one of your shows.
People do
and-
get dragged to our shows, and
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some of them that are just like,
Well, then they're just
no.
sad sack
Yeah,
people,
Right.
and you don't need them.
But it is
On the
good.
other hand,
But-
you might be a big fan and still hate being soaking wet. So that's
Right,
that's one
right.
possibility.
Once you resign yourself to be wet, though, it's
Yeah.
We actually
You're
it
over
reminds
it,
me
it's
like
fine.
we did a show in Dearborn, Michigan, where it
on the roof.
It
We're on a roof.
hailed.
We're on a roof of a
They were
garage.
they were like golf ball sized hailstones, pounding
but
our
we
audience.
We weren't on stage. We were backstage about to go, or like holding the show because it was this inclement weather. And then we just heard like, It was so
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
It was so weird. And like you hear
and
like,
they couldn't leave
the
because they're
ping pong
packed
ball-
together. Like
you hear
Yeah.
the ping pong ball kind of things landing on
Yeah.
the roof of what we were running.
Yeah.
It was very, very odd.
We went and saw, oddly, at our state fair a few years back, Sonic Youth and the Flaming Lips played.
Oh yeah, sure.
And there was a tornado watch/warning that went through at the time, and it dumped about 6 inches in an hour.
Ooh.
Right
wow.
before the show.
Oh really? And the show actually went on.
Show went on, and
that's
they went out and they were sweeping all the water off, and everybody
Holy
was
smokes.
soaking wet. And
Yeah, I would think
it
for
was
the
fun.
Flaming Lips that would be a challenge because he's got to go out in that sphere, and if the tornado comes,
Wayne was actually out
takes
there
him away.
sweeping the
Carries
water
him
out
off.
himself. He was like the one, like, nope, we're putting on a show. We're
right,
not-
right.
and he was-
No, I'm sure he's totally. But,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm just thinking,
But it's kind of fun to be in that situation. It makes it like it's already an event, but it makes it like something you're never going to forget. You're going to
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
it.
Shared adversity.
Yeah.
Yeah. exactly.
No, absolutely. No, well,
Yeah.
he's getting rich now off of Wayne coin. Apparently, that is the
Really?
new cryptocurrency. Have you not heard about this?
Not his.
Wayne coin. Check it out.
I am not surprised.
I just made that up.
But I would not
it's
be
not a real
surprised
thing.
because he always does those kind of gimmicky things.
Yeah,
He should do that.
The gummy head thing.
The
with
gummy,
the-
That was the
the
best
gigantic gummy skull with
The
the
Yoko
with the,
Ono blood in the flaming.
That guy.
Lipstick
I
shirt.
wish we could steal his
That he
There
had.
was
ideas.
Yoko Ono blood and
Wasn't
Flame
there?
Whip.
That was blood of all the people that collaborated on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I wish we could steal a tenth of his ideas. We would. I would feel very cool. But Wayne Coyne, that's our idea, so we can do
You
that.
should
Right,
yeah.
you should hit him up with that.
Yeah,
Blockchain.
blockchain man.
Let's see. Did you guys have any songs or questions that you wanted to, or songs you wanted to sing with them? Or
Can we have a sing along?
Yeah.
Actually, I was wondering. I saw you on Conan.
Oh,
the other
right.
day, and it was a fantastic performance.
Thank you.
guys were amazing.
and
Thanks
that
so
Conan
much.
Extra was
Oh yeah, the
your version of I
Coco.
Like Fun. So
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Yeah.
You know, so you're on that, and and you're here.
Right.
Both two big
Media juggernauts.
promotional, stops. Right. I was just thinking about. Do you guys have any noteworthy memories of past appearances? Like a Letterman or that stand out.
Or is there something that you would love to do
Yeah.
that you haven't done yet?
The space car. No, yeah, I don't know.
There, I don't know that those things are more nerve wracking than they are necessarily like the actual. I don't know.
The Conan show is distinct. We've done that more than any other thing. We started playing on the Conan show in early '90s, and I think we've done like 20 appearances or something like that. And a lot of other shows, particularly Letterman and The Tonight Show, are they're almost like this mandated nervousness where it's like the whole point is to scare the crap out of you before you get out there. And Conan's the opposite. They've always had a super friendly, relaxed vibe, and a really great support staff who obviously love their job.
Well, I love the Tonight Show though that you do Birdhouse.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was the most like pee your pants weird
imagine.
situation we've ever been in. I
Because
think
even though it was Jay Leno, it was still like the Doc Severinsen.
it was Doc
show.
Severinsen, and that everything about it was like, as John would say, being shot out of a cannon. Like we practiced the song with the 16-piece orchestra, and then Doc Severinsen counted it off when the live thing went on. It was like twice as fast when he counted it off. So we were like, what do we do? Oh God.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's how greatness is made. When it's
I don't
twice as
I don't know
fast as it
that's
should
how
be.
greatness is made.
That's
but
a,
it was.
have you ever heard
but-
that
but
Johnny
it
Taylor when
happened.
he's doing "Jody's Got Your Girl and Gone"? That line
Birdhouse
from
was
the Watch
already
Stacks? It's
Birdhouse
twice
was
as
already
fast.
fast. It was
Awesome.
already a fast song. It's hard to sing faster than it already is. But yeah, no, it was the aftermath was fun.
Maybe his nerves were really high working with you guys.
Doc, he was
That he
nervous
went
because of us.
fast.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah.
It was interesting, like just seeing him, like when we were walking into the studio. He was outside, like the actual place,
Oh,
and he
yeah.
had this little dog that had like mange.
Yeah.
He was like,
Sweet,
holding
really sweet little
holding
dog.
some little like I don't know even know
He
I
was
don't think-
feeding it
I
like
don't know if it
the
was a
second half
Chihuahua.
of his sandwich, like that.
It wasn't a Chihuahua. It was like some other kind of like, but really like a teacuppy
Yeah,
kind of dog
yeah.
Okay.
that had those like missing like half its hair.
Yeah.
and it just was like, this is a really
Doc
weird.
is a nice guy.
Yeah, it was like, but like it seemed kind of sad. It's like here's Mr. Lonesome. Like,
Yeah. There was.
outside.
I think there was
Just
like
needed a
harmonica
cone on
music
the dog.
playing at the time.
Yeah,
And like,
it's like hobo Doc Severs. Yeah, having a dog with mange is a really weird idea.
Well, I have one last question. What is your favorite song off of the new album? Your favorite song personally?
Oh, it's hard to say. We've been working on so many. We're
need a
working on
reference.
so many of them.
I got my answer. Well, I think that like this is not just decorum, but I actually do think I Like Fun is the one that I enjoy playing the most. And
what is it that you're playing on that?
That's a contralto. I'm playing the contralto clarinet, but there's a lot of other
Okay.
interesting things going on.
That's like
in
the
that
bass
recording.
line. The
The bass is the.
I've
is
even
what-
had we do program directors for the day for people that pledge to the station. They come on and play radio with us. She was in band and she didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Well, it's it's
we're trying to
unusual
find
instrument.
instruments that literally nobody has heard of.
The thing that's tricky about playing I Like Fun live is that it's extremely unforgiving. There's a part of it where Marty and Kurt and I are all doing this exact same, very linear kind of written through asymmetrical.
You can really tell when you
lyric.
guys are screwing
Yeah,
up.
and it's just like it's like if there's any deviation or any mistake, it's just absolutely obvious, and it really it hurts me when I mess it up because it's like I'm the only one who's messing it up.
and you made your bed, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's like it's a really intense arrangement, and it's cool when it works, but it's also. It just requires
Got to be on your toes.
It requires a level of sobriety that I'm not used to.
And what's your favorite?
You like one of my songs.
I like we just started getting Let's Get It Over With into the set, and that is a good.
Yeah, we
That's gonna
played
be
we
awesome
played it
live.
twice so far in live.
And the second time was really good.
Yeah.
I feel like just getting the songs under our belts is really like the fun challenge. Like the more we get going, it's like Mrs. Bluebird is in the set now, and that's cool. I hope it would be really cool to figure out how to get Push Back the Hands into the show, but I don't.
It's so electronic, and I think it would be.
But it reminds me of when we first started doing the guitar. I don't know if you remember, there was a notion that we couldn't do it live.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
And now when I think of the guitar, I think of it as it's the most live thing we do. And the same with Fingertips. It's like you just have to.
That's true. Fingertips, we were
we knew we couldn't
no
play
way
live.
to play it live,
and it was just we didn't even try for 8 years or something. And then Danny Weinkauf was just like, "You guys could do, we could do it. We could do it.
Right?
Just
Stop being babies."
Yeah, it's like slap this around.
Yeah,
pull some wrestling
Danny,
moves on.
exactly.
I've seen you do it twice, and it's been awesome each time.
Yeah, it really seems especially suited for live. There's something about it that's so especially weird, but I don't know. I feel like Push Back the Hands could, if we just tried it, we could
do it as a not as robotic sounding
And
version.
it's kind of fun if it's not exactly like what's
Well, that's
on
the
the
thing.
album.
Yeah, no. We obviously we've done "Man It's So Loud in Here" as a rock song, and it's just got its own vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the adult version of Robot Parade.
I bet Push Back the Hands this time could work. We should figure it out because it's it's a cool track, and I don't know.
We get sometimes there's grumpy fans who are like, doesn't sound like the record.
Yeah.
Then just play them. You think of them as this is my song.
I think we have an informal thing where we each write songs, and that person is kind of in charge of the song, more or less. But then obviously we collaborated as closely as we've ever done on this record. I think there's a lot of John gave me a big pile of beats.
Yeah, making beats is a really weird thing because you can't. If you're just making a beat for yourself, to sort of jam onto and figure out make a chord progression or sing yodel a melody over or just kind of do your songwriting deal to, it doesn't have to be that good. It just has to be a beat,
Right.
sort
but
of
on the other hand,
but
if you're doing it for someone else, you don't want it to be too finished, right?
Right, you have to leave some room, but it also it's like when is a beat done in order to hand it off in a collaboration, because it's got to be inspiring, so it's got to have some spark to it that actually invites more inquiry. But the second you get to that level in a beat, then it's like you sort of want to hold on to it for yourself. It's like I could do something with this. I mean, the gospel-y one, the Let's Get It Over.
Yeah, Let's Get It Over With was John gave me the thing with the,
and it's very simple
with the claps and everything.
But it's it felt really effervescent and kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I there was part of me that was just like I like this one. I don't want to give it up.
No,
That's
it's true.
love when you give your friend.
When you give them the thing,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
Well, I've gone through all the questions that we got.
All right.
We got some questions for you.
Okay.
Now, where are we?
You're in Mankato, Minnesota.
Mankato, Minnesota.
Do you know how to say Minnesota right yet?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. You nailed it.
SCTV.
Can I ask you one more question?
Please.
Are you enjoying or hating all of the fan reactions to your haircuts?
We haven't actually received any fan.
tracking.
Yeah, we don't.
Your haircuts are just like.
I think we're so insecure that we have been shielding ourselves from.
I love
I don't
your
know.
haircuts.
Okay,
I have
thank
no
you.
problem with haircuts.
I didn't. I wasn't aware of that.
And I loved it that you posted that you're going to do a Morrissey tribute show.
Well,
because I'm a big Morrissey fan.
When I get my haircut, I actually do, like, if the person seems like they would understand what I'm talking about, I will just say, like, the way like Morrissey's hair looks. I don't know. It's probably just as much as what's the white rapper guy who won the Grammy?
Which one?
Vanilla
Ice?
No.
Eminem?
He's from Seattle.
I'm
come
drawing
on.
blank.
Manafort. I want to say Manafort.
Right.
That'll work.
It's not Manafort. But it's like
TJ Manafort.
The name is it's like Mana something.
Anyway,
Manafort's name is in the way, but he's got a similar hair. I mean, it's just like like nothing on the. It's 1930 on the sides.
Yeah.
So I just I don't know.
A little Elvis.
Yeah, it's got a little something.
Yeah.
Rockabilly.
Yeah.
I just went. I have these Russian guys in Brooklyn that just. They're actually not Russian. They're Uzbek, but they say they're Russian, which I'm a little confused by. But I think maybe it's like
they want somebody to recognize where they're from.
Yeah. People are like, well, I don't know what that is. I don't know what you just said. But maybe they're worried about anti-Muslim thing. I don't know. But anyway, they're.
Well, it's just like they just know that most people don't know where they're from.
I don't know. I don't know the reason. But anyway, they're great. I love these guys. They're cheap, and I don't care how I look.
Do you bring a picture in and say, I want this?
I just say, cut my damn hair, Mr. Mr. Uzbek.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
for,
Sally.
Of course.
What
joining
a
us.
pleasure.
When's are you doing it again this year?
Yep. It'll be. Do we have an official day for it?
Well,
do we
check
put
the
it
calendar.
Yeah, it's probably the Friday closest to November 19th.
Okay. Yeah, we're
All right.
totally doing
Cool.
it. And like we said, we're gonna go after the inner.
Yeah.
Space
Let's
station.
get all the outer space people.
Yeah.
In on it.
Got it, because that's like the last. Unless we get everybody from every.
Well, and also the
continent,
core
else.
of the Earth, right? Isn't there? There's some listeners in.
We should get some African things going.
Yeah, we should totally.
And
Lagos.
Uzbekistan.
I'm not gonna-
would be nice.
Yes.
Uzbeks,
Yeah.
Nigerians.
Everybody.
We are here to play for you.
Well, I am going to play "Man It's So Loud in Here."
Terrific.
And,
Thank you so much for all your support.
and say goodbye to you guys.
Oh, we have a gift pack back for you. So you're going to have to figure out how to distribute this amongst yourselves.
Okay.
But here's all
Thank
Just
you.
the people here who you like the most. Just
I like everybody.
get
here.
stuff.
Everybody that's here.
Yeah. There's
Awesome.
some rare stuff in there.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
do you guys want coffee to go? We got you.
Oh, no,
we
we're-
got you
I'm-
coffee.
I got it.
A little hit.
all right.
All right, I've got "Man It's So Loud in Here" coming right up, and thank you, John.
Thanks
Thank you.
again.
The thing that I really enjoy about this is, even though we're a small town radio station on a college campus in Mankato, Minnesota, every time we do this They Might Be Giants Day, it makes us feel like we're not so different from people who are across the world, across the country.
Yeah.
That we all have something in common, and it's loving a band and loving music, and it feels like the world gets a little bit smaller and more community-based
There comes a time
on these days.
when we heed a certain call.
Shut up, boy, Tim. I'm being sincere. Yeah.
Because it's not a joke. The cadaver knee is supposed to be like the gold standard, right?
Really? I didn't even know that was so.
Oh yeah. Ask your doctor.